Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, let's be very clear. As a Democratic Alliance, we reject and distance ourselves from the behaviour of the EFF in this House. We don't believe it advances parliamentary democracy. We don't believe that it advances the cause of the people who've sent us to this House to represent them. Like you walked out of the city of Cape Town yesterday, you called it barbaric, double standards, Honourable Cronin. We've come to expect it from you. Let me just say that to say that these rules are a reflection of the Corder report is a stretch too far. They are not in line with some of the recommendations made by Professor Corder. Chief amongst those is that he said that accountability is not good enough. You need to have a mandatory accountability at the core of our parliamentary oversight role. So what that means is that when ministers come here to account, they must not only tell us what they've done wrong, they must tell South Africans how they're going to fix that. I think that what we're seeing here today is a classic case of the ostrich putting its head in the sand. The elephant in the room is the Concord judgment that was handed down earlier this month. And you see, you're already dismissing it. You're already dismissing it because it's an uncomfortable skewer for the ANC, because it showed and exposed for everybody to see how the African National Congress has plucked the teeth out of this parliament over the last 20 years and left it in a situation where it's simply unable to do its job, and that was pointed out by the Constitution. Now, the Honourable Killian came up here being lectured by a retreaded National Party apparatchik about democracy is the ultimate insult. She's crossed the floor more times than she crosses the street.
Honourable Speaker.
She is the classic.
Order.
She is the classic.
Order, Honourable Steenhuisen. Could you please take your seat, Honourable Killian?
Will the Honourable Steenhuisen take a question, or will he be too scared?
No. You see how she's living by the rules.
Will you take a question, Honourable Steenhuisen?
Because
I don't take questions from national.
Okay.
I don't take
you
questions
have more
from
members of the National Party in your caucus than are
Honourable
here.
Killian, you won't take a question. Proceed, Honourable Steenhuisen.
I don't take questions from retreaded apartheid-era apparatchiks like the Honourable Killian. She's a classic. She's a classic case. She's a classic case. She's a classic case of somebody who says...
Honourable members. Order, Honourable members. Allow him to finish his speech.
She's a classic case of somebody who says, these are my principles. If you don't like them, I have others. There are unscripted questions to the Premier. We know why the African National Congress doesn't want to have unscripted questions to their ministers. It's because they know that most of their ministers, with a few notable exceptions, couldn't answer a decent question in this House if they tried. I would be very careful about quoting former leaders of the organisation. Dennis Goldberg, Ahmed Kathrada, and a whole host of other leaders have some very interesting things to say about where the African National Congress finds itself. Now, the Honourable Madikane, he says we're an angry party. Well, we know why he's angry today. Luthuli House doesn't get it right very often, but when they made you the Chief Whip, Honourable Mthembu, they did get it right. He's a much better choice than the Honourable Madikane, and that's why he's so upset. He also then goes on to say that perhaps I need a lecture in parliamentary accountability and democracy. Well, let me just tell you this, that you guys are getting a hiding every single day in court. You haven't won a single case that's been taken on review over the conduct of this Parliament and how the African National Congress and its presiding officers are trampling on a daily basis on the rights of members of this House to hold the executive accountable. That is a reflection on you and your party, Honourable Madikane. Go and win a few cases. Go and win a few cases first before you come back here and lecture us on parliamentary accountability and democracy. Who can forget the advocate Nkosi Thomas stuttering and mumbling her way through your pathetic case in the Constitutional Court? Now, let me tell you something. The ANC in this House want to have their cake and eat it. So when a party stands up for the rules and has supported various rules in this House that have been proposed around conduct, etc., sits for hours in committees, you say we're not constructive, you compare us to the party, the EFF. Now you moan about the EFF. You birthed them, you raised them badly, And now you're wondering why these children are behaving in this manner. They are birthed out of your organization. Their behavior is a reflection of you. The EFF and the ANC are different sides of exactly the same coin in South Africa. We want unscripted questions because it's a way to hold the executive accountable, an important way. We believe that the order of business is a sticking point because what it does is it places the business of the executive ahead of the business of the people of South Africa. The Constitution is clear. It says that one of our responsibilities is providing a national forum for public consideration of issues. Members of Parliament are elected here to represent members. If their business is dumped to the end of a program, it shows the contempt which the ANC has for elected representatives and your subservience to an overbearing executive. We won't support that.